For our next session at Virtual Summit 2024, we take a look at Autodesk Water and have a very special guest in terms of Nick Pryor from the Autodesk team. And we've worked with Nick for a long time in terms of our customers and also in terms of the changes that are going on with the acquisition of InfoDrainage by Autodesk, and actually being able to help inform our customers to make the right decisions when it comes around to some of the products and tools. The technologies have moved massively in terms of actually what's available now. So some of you may have been, some of you may known Autodesk or InfoDrainage, in terms of the InfoCare and also MicroDrainage licenses. But what we've now got is actually that move over to InfoDrainage, InfoWorks, and InfoWater. So before I hand over to Nick, we're going to take a look at a short video showing some of the Autodesk Water products. I'll be back with you very shortly.
The demands on our water resources and pressure on our water infrastructure have never been greater. The combination of rising costs, an aging workforce, deteriorating infrastructure, and impacts of climate change has made the task of managing our finite water resources one of our great present-day challenges. One that requires intelligent planning and operational efficiency. As an expert in water management, the world is looking to you to get this right. And whether the challenge is too much or not enough, Autodesk is here to help you manage every drop with comprehensive technology for all your water infrastructure needs. From stormwater to wastewater networks, treatment plants to distribution systems, asset management to data analytics, we can help reduce risk while delivering reliability, dependability, and performance. By utilizing Autodesk's end-to-end software solutions, you'll find efficiencies spanning all phases of the water asset lifecycle: planning, design, construction, operations, and maintenance. Autodesk's digital modeling tools and cloud-based solutions support increased collaboration, while reducing design time and rework, helping you create, analyze, and manage a resilient water infrastructure more efficiently and with better quality. Optimize land use with advanced design tools for sustainable drainage. Limit environmental and community impact with improved stormwater and wastewater planning and management. Deliver reliable and safe drinking water through better analysis. Improve operational efficiencies and system reliability through data analysis and optimization. Make informed decisions with streamlined asset condition, risk, and rehabilitation planning. These comprehensive technologies will help you get better, more desirable outcomes to ensure that water is everywhere it needs to be.
In terms of the Autodesk Water offerings, it's good to look at in terms of some of the challenges that have been faced. I think if you've been close to home, and I appreciate some of those aspects that were raised in the video you just saw, but if you think about what's going on at the moment, there's two things that are really putting a lot of strain in terms of the different organisations across the UK. And whether that's in terms of the poor weather we've had, all of the flooding, the water that's just in completely the wrong place, or whether that's actually looking at the water infrastructure that we have and how old and antiquated it is. And there's a lot of investment going on at the moment in terms of within that water distribution, but also drainage and storm design. So I think it's really important to understand in terms of, say, some of the key benefits or key areas that we should be focusing on and what some of this technology does. In terms of actually being able to innovate and also make sure that we are harnessing the best of the technology to really have that informed design. That's sort of what you're starting to see in terms of with this case study that's been produced by Autodesk. Being able to actually harness information to make innovative decisions, informed decision making, but also optimizing your workflow is really, really important. And I think when I speak to customers, no matter how large or small, it's about trying to harness data, and that's one thing that's going to come up, and I suppose which Nick's going to expand upon shortly. Throughout the virtual summit, we've talked about the change in technology over the last year and actually moving into AI. And it's pleasing to see in terms of InfoDrainage and some of the other Autodesk water products starting to do that. So this case study was taken by Autodesk from an organisation in the US, and it talks about all of the bits that we've just mentioned and that you've seen on the video. But the one thing that's really important, or is quite pleasing to see from me, is actually InfoDrainage is a gateway in terms of being able to do a lot more. Trying to optimize sites or being able to see in terms of the data that you've collected throughout the design phase, you can then start to actually make better decisions, and ultimately that means that you're cutting down in terms of the cost of the design, you're optimizing in terms of the overall cost of producing the project, but more importantly the quality of build, and also in terms of the legacy you're leaving through that construction phase on the local area. So at this point I'm going to hand over to Nick. I hope you enjoy the session. Make sure you ask plenty of questions in the chat box, and I will be back with you very shortly.
Great, thanks Nathan. It's great to be joining Man and Machine today for their virtual summit. So my name's Nick Pryor. I work for, historically we're called InfoDrainage, as you would know us, before that XP Solutions, but now we're moving forward, we'll be known as Autodesk Water Infrastructure. So I look after mostly the northern side of England, but also some of the south and around the London area as well. So joining the guys here today at Man and Machine just to talk about InfoDrainage for our historical micro drainage users, or even if you go further back, you may know it as Windows. Before we move on, just pause slightly just for a safe harbour statement. So I'll just give you a moment to look over that before we look at the I2S programme running this year. Okay, so the I2S programme, which is short for InfoCare to Subscription, so InfoCare being what InfoDrainage have always called the annual maintenance for our perpetual licensing. So the I2S programme started last year in May 2023, and it's the opportunity for our historical InfoDrainage customers, be that if it's for our micro drainage, for our InfoDrainage, WS Pro, or also our InfoWorks ICM products, to move across to the Autodesk versions and the subscription versions of the software. So just some key dates to make note of, and some key information on the I2S, who you can speak to Man and Machine if you do have those perpetual licenses, and they'll be happy to guide you in moving across. So as I mentioned, on the 7th of May 2023 was the beginning of the I2S program. So that is where if you had a license, you had an option to either keep that license maintained, or you had the opportunity to move across to the Autodesk versions of the software at a incentivized price. So as we move into 2024 and May the 7th this year, so anybody who has a renewal date of InfoCare the other side of May the 7th, there'll no longer be an opportunity to keep those perpetual licenses covered under the InfoCare program. So it's worth now, if you do have a renewal the other side of May, to start to speak to Man and Machine and kind of look at the moving over to the new licenses. So that is this year, moving into May the 6th, 2025, and that is where the end of the I2S program will be coming to an end. And also then the prices for I2S would then return to the standard retail price for the InfoDrainage, or now the Autodesk water infrastructure products. These are just some of the key questions which I'm normally asked by customers for the I2S program. So kind of looking forward at the prices that have been offered. So will subscription products renew at the discounted price? Yes. So that would be very similar to, I think, if Autodesk have done this previously, until 2028. So there'll be no more than a 5% increase in 2025 and 2027, and there'll be no increase in 2024, 2026 and 2028. Do I have to trade in my perpetual licenses to get the discounted price on subscription products? Yes. So if you have dongles or fixed licensing or floating licenses, for any of the InfoDrainage products, like I mentioned, WS Pro, MicroDrainage, or InfoWorks ICM, once you sign up to the Autodesk program, you would have 120 days to return the perpetual licenses. Some other key dates worth noting is you can engage with Man and Machine 90 days before. So you could sign up to the Autodesk program 90 days before your InfoDrainage renewal date. You wouldn't actually get the licenses until that InfoDrainage renewal date. Or you would have 30 days the other side of your InfoDrainage renewal date as well to still kind of activate the I2S program. And although I put here, what if I still need MicroDrainage? But again, it kind of opens up to all of the InfoDrainage products. We understand that our customers made a previous version. With InfoDrainage itself, that previous version would be MicroDrainage. So if you was to buy the InfoDrainage Ultimate, then you'd be able to receive a copy of MicroDrainage Premium. If you was to buy the InfoDrainage Standard, then you'd be entitled to a copy of the MicroDrainage Essentials for that user. So you would have both software to use, InfoDrainage and MicroDrainage, but it would only be able to use one piece of software at one time by that end user. So that's the I2S program. So just for those of you who've been with as it was XP Solutions, or at one point the company was called MicroDrainage, we've been industry experts and we've got over 40 years of industry knowledge within drainage design. It's going back to the 80s when it was Windes, and then as you can see there, as we've moved over time, it became MicroDrainage, and then we created InfoDrainage. I think some people think that the InfoDrainage was a product that Autodesk created, but it wasn't. InfoDrainage was, before we were acquired, what was a product we were actively selling. I believe around 2020 we created the InfoDrainage versions of InfoDrainage, which we launched. And it's kind of, it was designed by the team who've been working on MicroDrainage, and it was based on feedback from customers and also a number of changes within the industry as it moved away from more what's known as traditional drainage and looking at more green infrastructure and a heavy focus towards incorporating SUDs within your design. So again, just responding and adapting to change. So it's been the evolution from traditional to sustainable drainage design, so from grey to green. And as you see there, you can kind of look at how you would have done your design on the left within MicroDrainage, and then on the right, how you would do that within InfoDrainage. So we've come from traditional focus of pipes and manholes, and we're looking at the first green approach and sustainable drainage, which is now kind of leading the way. So MicroDrainage was very much modular, whereas InfoDrainage isn't. But all of the capabilities of those modules within MicroDrainage are within InfoDrainage. So it's not just a SUDS tool, InfoDrainage. If you still need to do your traditional drainage, you'll find all of that capability that you had in MicroDrainage still within InfoDrainage, but you've also then got the advanced capabilities that MicroDrainage didn't have. Obviously, we had MD SUDS, which was a tool for designing SUDS. It probably wasn't the best, and I think that's because when it was created, the SUDS were seen more maybe as a luxury rather than what with now, where it's kind of essential and more standard practice to incorporate them in your design. So again, as I kind of mentioned, if you're looking at the standard of InfoDrainage, then in kind of MicroDrainage talk, that would be very much like the Essentials package, which would have been System 1, Source Control, Simulation, and APT, although we've added SUD design analysis capabilities. whereas the InfoDrainage Ultimate would be much more like the MicroDrainage Premium package, which would have incorporated flood flow, DrawNet, CASDEF, and MD SUDS capabilities. So as I mentioned already, historically drainage design was about sizing pipes to take the excess stormwater flows from a site. However, there has been a huge industry shift towards a much greener approach. This is called something different in different parts of the world. Some common languages appearing, such as green infrastructure or blue-green infrastructure, but it's also known as SUDS or LIDS. But either way, sustainability is a growing demand for stormwater design. So the everyday problems or the challenges of drainage design, it's a need to track different aspects of the drainage design across multiple packages, recreate and design data from one format into another, which is obviously quite time consuming. You must demonstrate compliance to local standards, and difficult to express information in non-technical stakeholders. And obviously SUDS add complexity to the design process. So when we're talking about InfoDrainage, I like to link the solution back to some key challenges that we focused on addressing. These are everyday problems and not necessarily new problems, but these are themes that continue to evolve in the drainage design space. We know we can't complete our drainage design schemes in a vacuum. Nevermore has data been so important to having a platform to make use of any of the supporting data, as well as key to share data is key. So what is InfoDrainage? InfoDrainage is our next generation drainage design platform with a graphical interface, highly detailed SUDS analysis, and also streamlined workflows. We've built it so that you can design creative, sustainable drainage structures as true to life as possible, as well as improve your ability to model and communicate increasingly complex drainage systems. As I kind of talked about already, InfoDrainage and XP Solutions have a long history in drainage design. Our MicroDrainage product, which goes all the way back to those 80s. And since then, our initiative, Drainage Design Solutions, have continued to lead the way, be that used by the lead local flood authorities, house builders, and also consultants as well. So we've taken all that research, development, and industry knowledge, and we've created InfoDrainage. So InfoDrainage does allow you to create traditional drainage, as did MicroDrainage, but also SUDS designs in details. See your designs laid out graphically and produce customized reports to satisfy drainage design workflows wherever you need them in the world. So it's a define true to site structures quickly and effectively to make the best use of space, enable BIM workflows and reduce unnecessary rework of designs, and analyze and optimize the system as one rather than individual structures. So why InfoDrainage? Again, so it's optimizing design and obtaining approvals faster than ever before that you was able to with MicroDrainage. So it's sustainable drainage design, project efficiency, full design and analysis, quicker approvals and review, and then obviously the BIM workflows as well. So what InfoDrainage does offer you is a more accurate representation of SUDS. In MicroDrainage itself, SUDS structures in drainage systems are represented as a storage node with node dimension. So you may have had to create a dummy node to try and represent a SUD. So this means that in MicroDrainage, while the SUDS volume is shown, the time of concentration of water flowing through various SUD structures is not. So on the left, you have MicroDrainage, and then on the right, you'd have how you would see that or do that within InfoDrainage. So in InfoDrainage, we've made sure that the actual physical dimensions of such structures are represented with advanced parameters to model the depth, porosity, and hydraulic conductivity of various filtration layers that may sit underneath a SUDS structure. So InfoDrainage obviously is, or microdrainage itself did have some integration with Civil 3D through the DrawNet module. So that's not necessarily something new. We had it in place since about 2018 in microdrainage. But InfoDrainage itself, even before the acquisition by Autodesk, was looking to push that forward and make it an easier tool to use with that integration for our Civil 3D customers. But that integration is growing. Our team of drainage design experts and product developers have made it their mission to solve this industry challenge through expanding the integration as we move forward between InfoDrainage and Civil 3D. So Autodesk's drainage design solution, InfoDrainage and Civil 3D being the world's foremost civil design software, we are looking to kind of push that forward. And as an industry first, InfoDrainage recently added results migration for Civil 3D, meaning that users can directly migrate their physical InfoDrainage models and associated hydraulic results into their Civil 3D models. You've long been able to directly import your physical drainage models from InfoDrainage to Civil 3D, but the ability to connect the actual hydraulic results, you can now achieve a highly intricate level of data with a more automated workflow. Just going to play a short video now, which is just to show you as we move the software forward, just some exciting developments we've made, which is our intelligent deluge flooded mapping tool with machine learning technology, which was incorporated within our 2024.4 version of InfoDrainage.
Introducing the machine learning deluge tool inside of Autodesk InfoDrainage, tailored to provide unprecedented speed, stability, adaptability, and interactivity in the assessment of flood maps. The tool quickly simulates a depth of water over a surface, generating a responsive flood map indicating locations of ponding and channeling on a given site. By leveraging our machine learning algorithms, this feature will lead to users being able to make responsive design changes, like this example where a drainage designer is adjusting the location of a pond and the flood map instantly responds, indicating how effective that change was. You can see now that with this change, the pond location captures all of the pooled water. This tool will make drainage designs more intelligent, responsive, and efficient.
Again, with InfoDrainage, the optimal stormwater design reviews and approval on time. So again, we wanted to make it easy for our customers to gain approval for their designs. So we're supporting detailed design submissions with our customizable reporting outputs. It's easy to demonstrate surface water management approach with clear shareable outputs to get the approval. Flexible audit reporting to support you, whether you're a design engineer submitting approval or approving schemes. And pre and post development comparison reporting is also available. So it's much more flexible than microdrainage was in what you're actually trying to show with your reports. What's new? I think we've in the last 12 months, we're starting to now see the benefit of having access to the Autodesk technology. You can actually go onto the InfoDrainage Technical Information Hub, which I would strongly recommend looking at if you're a user of InnoVise products. There's one for InfoWorks ICM, InfoDrainage and WS Pro. You can sign up for updates as well, but there's loads of useful information on there for what's new. There's a forward-looking roadmap. There's an ideas portal. We want customers to help shape the software, so you can go to the ideas portal, you can suggest ideas, you can vote on ideas, and you can also see if they're under consideration. Potentially they're already in the software, or also if they're looking to be added in the near future as well, or if they're in the progress of being added. But there's loads of stuff, so yeah, it's worth looking at the Technical Information Hub if you are a user of the software. But some of the key things which we've added recently in the last 12 months is the intelligent, which we showed on the video, the deluge flood mapping with the machine learning technology, the results migration from InfoDrainage to Civil 3D, the clash detection analysis for stormwater controls, the cloud analysis capabilities, and then the HEC 2022 advanced inlet analysis capabilities as well. And InfoDrainage itself has become the latest Autodesk product to integrate AI and machine learning technologies into its workflows. So I think maybe before this year, I think it's probably fair to say that the development slowed down slightly, but I think the focus was mostly on moving our products from perpetual and the licensing aspect of things and moving it to the Autodesk subscriptions. There obviously was development as well and some improvements to that integration to Civil 3D. But I think in the last 12 months and moving forward, we are now really starting to see the advanced development with the Autodesk and the InfoDrainage development teams working together to push forward the InfoDrainage products, or the Autodesk water infrastructure products as it's now known. Again, this is just kind of talking about the public roadmaps that we had available on that the technical information hub. So definitely worth going on there if you are a user or you're evaluating the software. For each of our products, you can go onto there and you can kind of see the public-facing roadmap and what we're looking to add and what's under consideration for the software as we move forward. You can also as well go on to the Autodesk Civil Infrastructure Roadmap, which again is a public forward-thinking roadmap for Civil 3D, and the aspect which would incorporate the integration with InfoDrainage and the InfoDrainage products as well. As we support our customers, we understand it with InfoWorks ICM and WS Pro, it's slightly different with the I2S program or using the tools, because it's very much the same product, but change of licensing and how you would buy that software. Whereas the microdrainage to InfoDrainage is slightly different because it is moving to a new solution. So we want to do our best to support our customers during that. And there's two ways, I guess, really. We do have on a customer success hub, we do have the online content. So this is a great tool to use if you are evaluating it, if you're doing the free 30-day trial, which you can download from the Autodesk website on the InfoDrainage page. Then we do have this online e-learning course. Takes a couple of hours, but it was put together from the old InfoDrainage training team, which we used to have based in Newbury. So there's a few modules there that you can complete in your own time during that 30-day period, or if you've got any new starters within the business, or you've just bought InfoDrainage, then there is that training to support you. The customer success team, our technical support team, it's still the same guys who've been with us. So it's the guys who would have been InfoDrainage historically, based in our Wallingford office when it was there. So they're still the guys you would speak to, and experts within anything InfoDrainage and microdrainage and InfoDrainage. They do have expertise. And we also obviously offer that previous version option as well. So if you do need microdrainage for any historical projects or during that transition into moving across to InfoDrainage, it's available for you to use as well. So that's everything from me. I'm now going to pass you back over to Nathan. Thank you.